One of the hardest things for us to do today in our American culture is this: slow down. And the reason for that is because we live in such a culture that is so driven by success. It's driven by progress. It's driven by growth and by getting to the next level, taking advantage of the next opportunity. All of us are busy. We have plans with our work, with our side projects, with our friends, with our family, with our kids, and there's just always something else to do, always something else to learn, and it can be overwhelming. And sometimes in the midst of the chase, things can get foggy. And sometimes life can throw things our way that force us to slow down. And if you've ever struggled with that, if your life has ever gotten foggy and you've struggled to slow down, today's episode is going to be valuable for you. Hey, Jeremias, do you want to come say hello? You want to come say hello?
Yeah.
So I've actually got my son here with me. Fun fact, he and I both got hand, foot, and mouth. You okay, buddy? Yeah. Okay. So he and I both got hand, foot, and mouth, and so we've been hanging out all week trying to get better. And man, this has been something that neither of us expected. And but sometimes life just does that. It throws things your way that forces you to slow down. So again, if you've ever struggled with that, then today's going to be valuable for you.
Hey friend, you have a gift that was given to you to share with the world. Your gift could be the light in someone else's darkness. It could be the breath in someone else's lungs. But here's the thing. You can't put breath in someone else's lungs when you are gasping for air. The reality is that life is hard and it will knock you down. And when that happens, it can feel like your light is broken. Like you have nothing to share, nothing to offer, nothing to give. But hear this. You do. You do, and my hope is that this podcast would help fix your light, that it would put wind in your sails, that it would be like a lighthouse leading you through the fog safely to the shore. I'm glad you're here, and I'm so excited to journey with you as we take steps today to make tomorrow better.
So I got to go on a little vacation to back to where my parents live in Arkansas, and we're driving through the mountains, just me and my dad having some, quality father-son time. I love getting to do just different things with my dad and getting to develop that relationship. And it's just something that's so important to me to develop my relationship with my dad, even now as I'm in my late 20s, and I just always want to be investing time into that relationship because to me, it's always been so important. And just to be honest, I haven't always put in the effort that I wish I would have put into that relationship. And so we're driving through the mountains, and it's just this beautiful scenery, beautiful views and vistas and dirt roads and just foliage and lots of trees and leaves on the ground. And this particular time was incredibly foggy. It's unreal. Like, it almost looked like it was straight out of a movie. Like, the things that our eyes were seeing were unbelievable. Just completely dense, thick, rich fog through the trees, so thick that you couldn't hardly see, normally you'd be able to see, as far as your eye could see. But this time, the fog was so dense that we could barely see through the trees, through the landscape. Have you ever driven through the fog? Sometimes the fog just covers the outer edge of our line of sight, and we can keep driving like normal, keeping our speed consistent. And if you're like me, fast, come on, who doesn't drive fast? Everybody likes to do it. Other times, however, the fog is too pervasive to continue driving like normal. It isn't just the outer edge of our line of sight that is obscured. It's everything and it's everywhere. I'm reminded of a time when I went swimming in a public pool, and by the way, Is anyone else grossed out by public pools? Is it just me? I hope it's not just me. But, I'm okay with it. Anyway, years ago, I jumped into a pool with goggles on so that I could open my eyes underwater because I'm not that, tough. I can't just open my eyes underwater like some people can. So I had goggles on and completely submerged my body. And I looked around to see what was going on beneath the surface, and it was the strangest experience. As a child, I couldn't see anything. I was like, what? My eyes are open. Normally I can see things. Why can't I see anything? It wasn't dark, as if the lights were off, but it was just so murky that I couldn't see anything. The water was just that so murky. I remember I put my hand in front of my face to get a baseline of how far I could see. And as long as my hand was close to my face, I could see it. But the further I moved my hand away from my face, the blurrier it got. And when my hand got a full arm's length away from my face, I couldn't see my hand at all. It was completely gone because of how murky that water was. And, just to be honest, my dislike for public pools was probably born in that moment. Gross. Anyway, back to the main point. Fog. Sometimes fog can be that thick, so heavy that our vision is impeded. We can't continue on as normal, as if nothing is there, because obviously something is there and we can't see like we used to be able to. There's stuff going on. We can't just keep going. We have to slow down and be more alert, and we have to drive with more caution because we can't see as well. And if it gets bad enough, sometimes we have to stop. Have you ever felt like your life was foggy? Do you know what I mean? Like it was hard to think straight, like you just weren't functioning at your highest capacity. You're just kind of having a bad day, a bad week, a bad month. You're tired mentally and physically. It could have been a late night or a bunch of late nights, or maybe you just have a lot going on right now. Life is hard right now and it's just weighing you down. It's wearing you out. All of us go through it. Sometimes life just gets that way. Overwhelming. It gets foggy, difficult to think clearly and make good decisions. And as much as we want to, we can't always just keep going as if everything is normal. Sometimes we have to stop. And I just want you to hear this. I want you to know this, that it is okay. That's okay to stop. We live in a world dictated by speed, by progress, by success, by resilience. Man, can you get back up? You just got knocked down. Can you get back up? It's hard to stop for fear of falling behind. But sometimes when we get knocked down, getting back up isn't so easy. And sometimes it's good to just breathe. And we fear falling behind. We fear missed opportunity. We have this fear of failure and fear of admitting that we are vulnerable and fragile. But friend, the worst thing we can do for ourselves and for others is pretend. When life gets foggy, we can't go on pretending that it isn't. We have to face it, and I want you to hear this too. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Facing our problems is hard because when we do, we have to slow down, and slowing down feels detrimental to our progress, and our world today is dictated by speed and progress and results. And how will we get the results we want, the results we have convinced ourselves that we need if we slow down? We will miss our opportunity. This is kind of what goes through our heads. It's what goes through mine. And I hope I'm not alone. Missed opportunity is the pathway to regret. And I want to share with you this story. I had an event coming up. I did all of the prep work. I was ready. I was ready for this event. I prepared for it in its fullness. I was already planning on what would happen after the event. I put in all the work. And you know where this is going. It fell through. I had to cancel it. I was so bummed. The event was such a great opportunity. What I was planning for after the event was such a great opportunity, but it did not happen. I had to cancel it. And before I headed home, I got a call from my wife. And don't forget, my son is with me. You probably just heard him. Before I headed home, I got a call from my wife. And she told me that she was feeling sick and desperately needed help with the kids. She needed me home as soon as possible. She needed help. The event fell through, and it felt like a missed opportunity, but in reality, it was making way for a new opportunity. I got to go home early and spend the evening with my kids and allow my wife to go to bed early. An opportunity lost was a greater opportunity gained. I want you to hear that. I don't want you to miss that. An opportunity lost was a greater opportunity gained. I believe that for you too. Just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean it isn't there. God knows what he is doing. Trust him, and he will lead you where you need to go, and he'll get you there when you need to get there. An opportunity lost is a greater opportunity gained, and Lord, may our eyes be opened to that. If your life is feeling foggy, I want to encourage you. You are not alone. And it is okay. You will get through this. I believe that, and I trust that, and I know that. Don't be afraid to slow down. Take some time to breathe. Reach out to a friend or a trusted mentor. There's power in your vulnerability. When you open up to someone you trust, it not only has the potential to lift weight off of your shoulders, but that might be the doorway to them opening up as well. Sometimes we just need to know that we're not the only ones. And when we realize that there are other people struggling too, it's a doorway for us to open up as well. We were not created to live life alone. We were created for community. Pursue friendship today because you need it, and so do they. Okay, Jeremiah, can you say goodbye to everybody? Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you got value, let me know. I'd love it if you would like this. Leave a review. Give me a comment. Let me know if there's any particular kinds of topics you'd like for me to cover in the future. And hey, I'm thinking about really going along with this whole share your gift train. Whenever I first started this a couple of years ago, just started sharing different things in my head. I started calling it music and leadership. And because those are really the two things that I'm most passionate about, things to deal with leadership, and I love music, I love creativity. But as this has gone on, the more content I create, the more I'm starting to realize how passionate I am about really helping you and myself to always be the absolute best person you can be, the best friend you can be, the best husband, father you can be, because it's so important. Like, you have a gift that you were born to share. Like, God gave you gifts and talents, and so but we can't share that. Wow, my son almost knocked this MIDI controller off of the stand. But we have saved it. But anyway, so yeah, you have a gift, and but we can't share that gift in its fullness. He's having a great time back there. We can't share that gift in its fullness when we aren't our best selves. And so I've been so passionate about helping myself and helping you really walk in the fullness of who God created you to be, so that you can glorify him with the gift he gave you, and you can use it to serve other people, because how fulfilling that is when you're really working in your strength and you're working in your gifting. So anyway, I'm thinking about sort of changing all the quote unquote naming, branding to share your gift, or you have a gift, or something like that. So if you think that would be something I should do, then hey, I'd love it if you'd let me know. But until next time, remember this: you have a gift, and it is your responsibility and your great opportunity to share it with the world. So come on, do it.